I'm Jared Matheson, one of the hosts of the AAC Podcast. Today I have a special guest on here, Trevor with My Dog Tools, and we also have Roy here co-hosting it as well.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome, Trevor.
So thank you for coming on, Trevor.
Absolutely, man.
You know, we met, I believe, probably like a year and a half ago, I think,
Yeah.
when I was working with my buddy Steve.
Yeah.
Manufacturing dog supplement products.
Yeah.
And you know what actually intrigued me the most about you is your enthusiasm about life.
Yeah, man. It's I think, every day we call it a blessing, but definitely an opportunity to get better. And, working with Jamarcus, meeting people like yourself, all the people we've met through this journey, you go, dude, this might be the answer.
Yeah.
This is it. We got to stick to this. This is the path. We finally found it.
Jared, are we missing, you totally missed one of our superstars here. Who is that?
Who is that?
So the general people, I got this Jack Russell. I said, I'm going to teach this dog to ride on my shoulder.
General.
And when I tell you, when they say, so what's his name? I said, he's the general. They go, oh my God. That's crazy. So for the most part, he walked around Pet Global for 8 hours and everybody was like, this is nuts, dude. And so we probably got 100 people stopping us to take photos the first day. But it's like Ali. Ali doesn't want his star on the ground. He wants you to look him in the face. The minute they have to look down, they lose sight. So I'm a salesman naturally, right? And you want to look people in the face. Well, I make them look right up. And it brings them right in when there's a dog on your shoulder.
There we go.
Yeah. So when I met you, you were not working with Jack Russell. So
No.
what's the switch, or what's the story behind getting this dog?
Look, I'm gonna be frank, people. When we got these bully breeds, it's a lot of Negroes. It's just me. You go, I don't know if I want this problem. so the bully people, there's not a set standard. There's not a lot of integrity, if we're being honest. There's some great breeders, but let me be candid in saying I get the messages with the most effed up stuff, and it's always trying to figure out how to do this and how to do this and how to get more money. So for me, my famous saying is just take care of the dogs. And so you go, I got to reach bigger audiences. And unfortunately, when someone gets a pit bull or a bully type breed, they think they're doing it a favor, which they are because nobody likes them. So ego,
No one likes them. We love them.
I mean, people love to look at them, but from afar. And we start talking about money, finance, connectivity, communities. Where's communities spending the most money? Well, we spend a lot of money, African Americans. But you say, man, what's the most famous dog that ever lived? Well, the first dog to ever get a star on the Walk of Fame is a Jack Russell Terrier.
Okay.
Are we talking about Wishbone?
That might be Wishbone.
Might be Wishbone?
But the first dog ever. And then there was a dog in Australia that was a Jack Russell. He had a commercial that ran for 10 years. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We got to reach more communities. I'm getting a GSP soon. And he's going to be named the sergeant.
You're gonna get a GSP?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, dude,
From
that's
Germany.
really.
Yeah, bro, I'm going hunting. We going fishing. Everything we want to do. We just talked about lifestyle, this thing.
Dude.
I said, guys, I'm going to walk in and change everything. And it's going to be because of these damn dogs.
Dude, you're getting me excited now because I didn't know you're going that route.
Oh, man, no,
Oh,
bro.
dude.
I'm going straight GS. Look.
Oh man, these GSPs look beautiful. I love them. I was thinking about going, retriever, but I'm like, no, going GSP.
And no, it's got to be a GSP. I like them. The wire-haired ones, or they say the dude literally broke it. I got a German translator right now trying to. This guy only breeds every couple years. He's like, yo, Trev, he's got a dog coming up. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no, but the Deutsches and Hound. If you get real specific, I'm getting one, bro.
Dude, that's awesome because. That's what at All American Canine, we're focused on is more the hunting to get started. And so, we're really diving in and learning more on the GSPs, intensely. We just went to the NWTF show, and there were so many people that had the GSP.
Yes.
And I did not realize how big of a community it is.
Oh, it's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge. You're speaking my language, man. And again, that's what I do. I think strategy, growth, and opportunity. In this case, Jack Russell, Foundation's going to welcome everybody who wants to pet the general. And they see him up there. He's got a lot of pizzazz, and you bring Sergeant. You got the general and sergeant. It's over, man.
Dude,
he's just touching you up right there.
Yeah,
he's touching
me.
You're nice and party.
Making sure I'm good.
So are you going to stay in the bully community as well too? You're diversifying, or you're going to be pivoting?
We'll always communicate that per se, but that's the point of shifting. But no, and no. I'm not. I mean, we'll have them, but we're going to really, when we've already slowed down and just focus on the business, man. I mean, going to where we just saw Pet Global. You've been to Super Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Breeding a dog almost seems like a waste of time when you know what I know about business. But in this case, like Steve Jobs, if we're going to test our product, then I need a product to test, and nobody should be out. They shouldn't be able to outmarket me. And this is not. This is the first.
It's a great marketing tool.
Dude, it's great.
It's a great marketing tool. So he solves all of my problems, man. And then we'll work with Sarge and potentially get a couple more dogs, man, and keep bringing some magic to people.
Okay.
But they love it. They love the General, man. He was when I say a showstopper, literally.
So did you always grow up with dogs? You've always been around them?
Yeah, man. Yeah, my dad started with a pit bull named Foots, and I wasn't there, of course. But to convince my grandfather to get me a German Shepherd because he wouldn't let me give it a pit bull. So I had Shepherds, and then from there, when I turned 19 or 20, I had like 5 pit bulls.
You here in Texas or?
No, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, okay.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri, man. So the dog thing, we leaned into it heavy, and then when I look back, I said, nobody knows anything about these dogs. I said, I could do this. And I saw the market. So when you look at the market, you go to APPA, you look at the numbers. You go, This is going to get interesting. We just need to let the market continue to mature. And if we're right there as it's maturing, we could sell 3 or 4 of those businesses for a lot of revenue. Yes, but even more importantly, build something that really does help people. And that's how we've got such a good following. We put out a lot of quality information, man. And people need to know what they don't know.
You do. I want to touch on that, actually. Some of the content you're putting out from, I would say a lot of people would be like, why do you give so much free content so good?
It's in the books.
I know. But there's people that try to sell courses and try to hire me to tell, but the stuff that you're actually putting out is so good. I don't even need any of it. I end up watching half of your videos just because of the value you're putting out, and part of it is you're entertaining. Yeah. I love the ones we were just talking about. When you do the little puppies when they come out and do feeding time. I love it. Actually, I was just watching one. I think it was with Alasa over here, or maybe it was Zaven, my middle child, of the dog that was on the treadmill, the puppy trying to get the rope, and it couldn't get it, and it kept going back. I'm like, why am I stuck watching this video so long?
It happens, man. I think that might have been one that did 40 million views.
Dude, I think that one did a lot. Yeah,
that's the point, man. It's a thing, man. That's why I literally show the books. I said, guys, it's right here. I'm not doing nothing special, but I've identified myself as a teacher. Yeah. Teacher reads a book, creates a syllabus. We lean into the education. You're building your social media out, people. Inform, educate, and entertain. If you can do 3 in one video, you're good. But if you do something informational, which objectively poses them, makes them ask a question, something educational, which shows them a process. So that's, hey, this is our feeding time. This is what we put in the bowls. And then pure entertainment. There'll be people who hate you and love you, but someone will say, me too. Oh, my dog does that. And when you grow, you'll grow a community of people who love to come back and smile. Man, I really love that video of you and your dog. And then you grow the people I needed to know that. Hey, what do I do about itchy paws? Yeah. How do I speak with the vet? How do I grow my page? I do all types of stuff on the page, man. Yeah. But those 3 things are the things that created and curates growth, for us at least.
Yeah. No, it's good. You got great content. You hit all 3 points just great. And I think that's subconsciously why people like myself end up watching it is because I'm not even aware, but I think you hit the point. A lot of people put out content and they have 1 of the 3 or maybe 2 on a few of their posts, not barely any of it.
And we don't shoot for perfection, so when something goes wrong, there was a video where I do the royal dog chains. Well, I'm about to do it. Hey guys, royal dog chains as soon as we were just shooting earlier, and a doodle comes walking around with no leash, and I got eager. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be a different video, people. but I post that one too and so the other thing we live by is press, play, post. A lot of you and people out there trying to build brands and stuff, you're going to be concerned with how they're seeing you. What they're going to see is growth, and they're going to see consistency. So we don't get in our heads because Monday's post does not exist a Monday from now. It don't exist the next day. 9 out of 10 people on Instagram, TikTok, and even the shorts, they're not scrolling on your page. So I said, get out of your own way, let the bad happen, focus on the good, and keep press, play, and posting.
That's a good point because I think so many people that are trying to create content, they're so worried. They miss out on so many videos or opportunities to post because they're trying to create the perfect thing. And, I've never thought of it the way you said. How many people actually go to your personal page to go back to look at other videos? It's probably so rare.
They can't. You can't go there and scroll down and all that. All the videos we post, I literally post 3 or 5 times a day. And everything, especially on TikTok, we can't even get paid unless it's over a minute. So even one of the videos that just did 5 million with me feeding Eco, that's a 2-minute video that 5 million people watched.
Yeah, wow.
All with me putting his meal together and talking about how to feed a dog, etc.
I love what you said, and I think, Roy, we need to take this is when we post Monday, by the next Monday, we should even forget completely what was posted, and we just improve.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Like, who remembers? What's your favorite commercial, man?
So my favorite commercial. Oh man, it's funny. You guys ever remember that? It's a sandwich shop. Where the
Hopefully not Jared. Hopefully Jared's not
There would be no Jared here. But what is it? Quizno subs. You remember those talking rats in there? And my kids
had rats in the sandwich.
They had these rats in the commercial. But anyways, my kids are.
Me either.
My kids are they're saying this all the time. They're like, Quizno subs, we got a pepper bar, and then so it's just so crazy, so funny. I know it's so weird that I don't remember something like that, but that's like so long ago. But my kids are still today singing that same jingle just because we remember it.
Wow.
I've never heard of that before. I got to go find this commercial now to be clear.
Yeah, I got to look it up too.
But you get my point. Most commercials, they don't impact you in a way unless it's like your kids are like saying it every day. So if you look at how social media works, you're as good as your last post.
Yeah, we do a lot of good throwbacks in the household.
See what I'm saying, man?
You're as good as your last post.
That's it, man.
What about you? Jaron, so you threw this on me. I'm going to throw it on you.
My favorite commercial?
Yeah.
Dude, mine's an old one too, is I remember this was in the Super Bowl. It was a Tabasco commercial.
Tabasco?
Yes. Dude, I was probably like 8 or 9 years old.
And you're not even a spicy fan.
No, I like spicy, just not like crazy spicy. Okay. But like I love Tabasco sauce. So this mosquito is flying around. It's all annoying. This guy's chugging Tabasco sauce on like this taco, and he's eating it, and the mosquito lands, sucks blood, and he just watches it, and it goes away, and then it blows up.
Oh, it explodes. I remember that.
That is a good commercial.
I love that one. That was my favorite.
No, and even when you think about it, you think about the progression of your growth. So I love that you're capturing that 1 to 1,000 days. So when you think about Jordan's commercial with Spike Lee and Jordan, maybe I messed up the game. Mm-hmm. He grew 20 years. Yeah, those are two different conversations with the same person, and he's talking to himself, right?
Yeah.
But now there's more intent because he had to become Jordan. So when I tell people when they're building their business and their social media out, guys, you don't know who you are today. Trust me. Your business, even the goals you write down are going to shift and change. Mm-hmm. But the goal is to grow, right? So as long as you stay doing the work, which we do, you'll be fine. Literally be fine. Now, if you stop, then you get lost. But you got to stay at it. Press play, post, and move on. Especially when you're trying to master your message.
Yeah. So what do you find is the more challenging side that you've run into from building a business, the social media side, and you have the dog side? So you kind of have 3 things. You probably have more, but I know you do. But like if you take it from those 3 things, what kind of challenges have you run into the last few years of how to try to scaling yourself and your business and your, with all that?
I think it's the same thing you guys are probably dealing with too, and anybody who starts off is finding the right team.
Yeah. I
mean, I'm good. I'm a foundational teacher, objectively a founder, and I can make people believe in anything. So if I can go find it, guy says, "Hey, Trev, I don't want to go back and work at the job, at surgery." He said, "How long would it take for you to build a whiskey thing?" I said, "Give me a week, and I'll figure it out." And it was talked to everybody on Monday, and then by Thursday we were in a place learning everything we could about whiskey. And the guy said we could do a bottle. So the biggest challenge in all spaces is identifying the problems, seeing where you can solve them, and then trying to find people who care about maybe their own growth in terms of money, aligned interests, whatever that looks like. And then again, you got to lead too, so you got to make sure you're communicating effectively, putting realistic, unrealistic expectations on the table, and seeing if you can execute them. Business is hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
it's brutal, man.
Speaking of leadership, because you just kind of touched on that, working with dogs. We were speaking with one of our other breeders, or trainers actually, and he was talking about leadership, and the dogs can smell on you. They want to be. They don't just follow anyone. You have to be the
They
alpha.
have no reason to.
So for you, what taught you, or what instilled into you like this leadership mentality that you have?
Oh, my grandfather, man, he's 12 years old. He told me clarity was the most important thing between 2 men. I was taught to speak up, look people in the face, and as long as you're educated, and not because a teacher gave you a syllabus or a book, that, read outside of the classroom. My dad would make me rewrite and apply, and then I'd have to recite things, practice tonality, those things that from 12 and on, and even before that. My grandmother was a 2nd grade teacher, so we couldn't say nasty. We had to say insipid. Communication has been pressed since I was a child on both sides. So I know for a fact, It's not even me selling you nothing. I literally read the stuff out of the book, but I can make it make sense. And as long as we do that, we'll scale. But those little things, man, those little things when it comes to leadership, I look, the same thing, bad things. So it's like, yo, always tell me the truth.
Yeah.
If you tell me the truth, you can work through it. So being a place where, Stan, for instance, will use Iron Sharp K9. Accident happens. A dog I put at his house gets pregnant by one of his dogs. He's scared to death because he's got to now make this phone call and tell me about it. And I said, man, that's not the worst thing in the world. I said, just make sure she's good. I can't help you sell the pups, but I'll see you Thursday. And he's like, what? That's okay. That's all? I said, bro, when you call and tell me, we can figure it out. If I have to find out, now we have a problem.
Dude, that's such a good topic to hit on in any aspect of life about integrity and honesty. Is if you just confront the issue, not even the person, you just go, hey, this happened, and I need help figuring out what to do with it. Most of the time, almost every time, the person then is responsive of like, let's figure it out together. But when they find out behind your back because you didn't come to them first,
all those character questions, man.
Why did you hide that from me? Even if you weren't trying to hide it and you're like, hold on, I have to go do this first. Like, no, when big things happen in life, you need to let that person know before someone else tells them.
And then I'll take it here too. We're in a room full of men right now. We got a young man over here. We've got Jamarcus as well. He's he's in his 30s. We're all old people.
Shout out to Alasso.
Yeah, but functionally speaking, foundationally speaking, there hasn't always been a safe space for men to have conversations. And those rooms they're shrinking, right?
Yes.
So one of my things with the men that I'm working with currently is, guys, you can talk to me about anything. Like, let's have those conversations that you wish you could have. Where is the place where you go when you need somebody to care, or you need a hug from a peer? And I'm not saying the wife's not a peer if you've got them, but you go, it's a different admiration one has when you're in a room full of men.
We've actually had this conversation before, like especially as a CEO or as a founder too. You can't just talk to your team. Sometimes you can't even talk to your wife. You have to have a safe space. It's that stoicism there where a lot of people mistake that part. They think you can't express your feelings. No. It's not that you can't express your feelings. It's about the right people who you express your feelings to, who can bring clarity to you.
And I get those phone calls. Trust me, people reach out all the time for clarity because I'm a place of trust and I don't judge. There's no judgment. Let's just try to find a way to improve and be better. But there's so many components that go into that leadership thing. And because right now this majority of people working with me are men, you go, you guys, you probably had to figure it out a lot in your life. The best thing you could do is just ask me. Talk to me, ask me any question you have. I can speed up the process. Don't go and make a dumb decision because you thought you knew better. It's just not the smart thing.
Do you have like a special group, a special circle that you have, or like these are my guys that I go to help me elevate my thoughts? And
I don't, man.
Don't.
Unfortunately, we talk about that a lot. Everybody comes to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. The irony is I don't have a first phone call.
Oh, wow.
But I'm everyone's phone call. Now, if it's a dog-related issue, I can call Chris Moore, Ruben Perez. But realistically, if there's something life-oriented, I just got to survive in advance, man. It's been that way for a long time. But when any of them going through something, first person they call it is me.
You.
Yeah, because but I don't know if surviving's a good thing, but I'm also I was raised in solidarity. And so that isolation, it makes it difficult to connect with friends. Now, I understand business. So like, you're so good with people. Yeah, I'm good at that. But when it comes to like friends and care and all that other stuff, I don't get it. Come take him, boss.
He ready to go down?
Yeah, he hit his line.
All right, heading down.
He want to move. If I'm moving around, he's good. But it's just time. He's hot too, man. Remember, dog's temperature's 102.5, so he's like cooking my neck up here.
Yeah, he is, I bet.
We gotta shoot one of these podcasts, like kind of like on the go and on the walk.
Oh, dude, we gotta go do this on a hunt, man. When you talk about getting your GSP, we want to go do some.
We can go to Jack Russell's, man. They go and do all kinds of hunting stuff, hunt hogs and get out there on some deer, like back them in the corner.
Yeah.
Look, there's a community. These people get active with their dogs, man. So trust me, as soon as Sarge comes, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs that are motivated as hell.
Dude, we want to go. We got some places we can go hunting, man. Oh yeah.
Wait, there's a guy who bring me some jackrabbits up here.
Dude.
He was like this, man. I'll bring him up there from, I think, Plainview, Texas. He said, I said, well, how much is he? He said, about $20 a rabbit. So you'll drive up here 4 hours to leave some rabbits in the field and see if my dogs can catch them. I was like, Bet.
Let's go.
I said, I don't know if these bullies can. I don't know if they've got the movement for it. You know, a jackrabbit is a different species
Yeah,
of
man.
animal when it comes to speed. So you go, oh, wow. I don't know if that's a good idea, but what inspired you guys to start the podcast, man?
Yeah, so that's actually an interesting question because we almost didn't start this. Me and Roy were like on the fence, and I think for me, one of the thing was, you know, like there needs to be a way to get out there from a social media standpoint that's just not just posting on Instagram.
Oh, facts.
And I enjoy this, and I know Roy does too. We both enjoy talking and learning and hearing other people's stories because I think you can appreciate this. Because you've been around so many different people, and so you don't know until you can hear other people's how they've walked in their own shoes. You can only imagine, but until you start hearing other people's stories of how they live life, what hardships they've gone through, like you get different perspectives of how you view life. And so I love getting people in here like yourself and everyone else that has been on here, because it's every time it's a different story. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, there's how many 9 billion people on this earth? And everyone has their own story. And like, for me personally, it's very humbling to be like, I have no idea what's actually going on in the world because like there's so many things that you're like, you think you know, and you're like, you know, I actually don't know really anything on that topic. And I thought I did. And so I enjoy it from the standpoint of learning, interacting live face to face. I love that. So I think Roy might have a little bit different, but I think we're kind of on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective is, and it's funny, I actually had a really good dinner with my sister and her husband, and we got into some deep topics there, and it's exactly like, that's exactly why I'm doing the podcast, because I want to hear different perspectives. I'm not closed off. I want to get a little controversial and just be a sponge, because this is like candy to me. Be able to sit down and listen to someone like you with your experience, not just in business, but also, you know, your experience in you're getting a little wild over there, but your experience working around dogs and what you got going on. Like, I'm just like, okay. I'm
obsessed with business, man, and mind you, I almost didn't start our podcast. So we have one called Unmotivated, and we're at over 100 episodes now.
Nice.
So once we do 100, I'm like, okay, now it's the thing. If it did, we didn't get to 100, but get this small fact for you guys and people: 500,000 people have started a podcast and never done more than one episode.
500,000 never made it.
500,000 podcasts that only have one episode.
What?
Okay. Well,
So
we're beating the odds already.
Look, keep going, whatever you're doing. Because I too started appreciating these moments in time where you could create this timestamp and in history where you say, man, remember that dude we talked to?
Yeah.
Remember when they was doing American Game? Remember when he was at that studio? Or remember when he said such and such? Stuff starts clicking. So I started appreciating the time we were getting from, or we've gotten from the people we've had on, man. And it's been a pleasure. And it's a pleasure to be here as well.
Dude, I was so grateful that you said yes so fast, because I was like, dude, I'm just getting this started. We have like 5 episodes, so I was like, there's really nothing of value that I can bring us up a good conversation. And you're like, yes. And I'm like,
the most valuable thing anybody could do is extend an olive branch or just an opportunity for you to practice you. And I'm telling anybody that, man.
Yeah.
The ones that love Dwayne Johnson, look at him in the Tooth Fairy, whatever he was playing into now.
No, you're totally right.
Everybody grows as long as you're working. When you stop moving, it all comes to an end, to say the least. But where you're at today ain't where you're going to be in 20 years if you stay the course.
Momentum.
This is also a point of documenting, and I'm not going to take credit for this too, but I heard on a talk, and that this is like, you're, instead of just writing a book, you're actually documenting this on story for future generations that's your bloodline that can go back and like, oh, this is, he talked about this, he believed in that. Maybe I should apply that to my morals and values. And these are going to be my great grandkids that I'm never going to meet. So just to be able to have something like this and then to look back on that too.
I got a good topic on that. So you'll appreciate this. So Roy, he comes from Valley Tainment as well, Patrick Bet-David. So we both worked there. And the last time I saw Pat was at the Grow With Video conference. He was a keynote speaker, and you just sent me his talk that I watched live. But he talked about one thing about creating content, that we live in an era that his parents and like our parents didn't have. Like, we can get these phones right here and record it in a way. So like my kid right here and his kids later can go back and view it. So like I was saying, I'm making 1,000 days. minimum. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to do every day I post a video, 1 to 5 minutes, and I just say how my day went. I'm getting really raw. There's some videos in there where I'm almost crying. I'm telling them some struggles, different things. I'm like, you know what? I think there's so many people that they want to show the best of what's happened. I'm like, you know what? I just bought this business 49 days ago, and everyone's going to get the exact raw emotion, because part of it is I want my kids and my grandkids to go back. What did I do in the moments that were tough and when they were fun? And I think it's just special because, like, it's not about, to me, the views. It's about, like, my family and the lineage that can see it.
2 years ago, we had 83 followers, man. So you look at it, and I was reaching out to people who'd never done lives even. I said, yo, we need to do this because it needs to exist. So now, everybody, oh, man, I need you. Like, no. I don't reply to messages and comments because I wrote a business plan. I said, it's not in the business plan, people. I said, if I lose sight of what the business needs to grow, then I'm not making content for y'all. I'm making it because it needs to exist, and that's it. That's all. So you guys, you're definitely doing the right thing. And mind you, I learned, and I told them I hate podcasts with the passion. But
you fooled me.
but you start doing this thing, and we have a huge following even internationally. And these people are like, yo, I appreciate you, man. Because whether we're talking about the American bully, our struggles or strife, or the challenges life provides, they go, man, you give a good perspective. And at one point, I've been on 2 other podcasts, right? So it takes, what did it take, about 50 episodes to get to 120 downloads a month? So we average, because of what we've curated on all platforms, 1,000 downloads a month on ours alone. So it changes things when you have done the work. So you guys are doing the work, and I mean, I literally remember being right in the right space, and like, they don't see you now, and that's good. And some of them have messaged me, how'd you get so many followers? Because I wasn't worried about them. I was worried about the work and the dogs every day. I could care less if you follow or not. It's got to get done, and we're going to shoot everything, good, bad, literally the ugly.
Speaking on the work, like, what was your biggest challenge when it came to understanding, like, you're getting into this industry, working with dogs, working with all kinds, like, what was your biggest challenge getting involved in it?
I got to be honest with you, man. I don't think there was a big challenge. And you know why? I've been blessed.
Natural.
No. The blessing is I understand one word people don't understand till they get later in life, and that's patience.
Okay.
So if you ask, Jamarcus or Stan, I said, guys, what else are you going to do for the next 20 years? So I didn't sell them an overnight thing. I said, we've got 10 to 15 years of work to become great. That's bare minimum. Bare minimum. And the initially, before even he got his page built out, where he's got 100,000 followers or 12,000+ followers on IG, I said, if you guys hold the camera, I'll do the rest. So they weren't even participating for the first almost 2 or 3 years. All they had to do was like, yo, can you hold the camera and do some with the dogs? So it grew because I believe what they now see. And so when you say, what was the biggest challenge? Back to the team thing, it's hard to get them to see the bigger picture sometimes, but it's rooms like this that they get to say, oh shit, this is turning into a thing. And forgive me, but it's like literally going into Pet Global, not knowing how small you are in the pet space, getting different breeds, learning about feeding, building muscle on a dog, all the education he gets to see live and in living color, and then take back and apply itself to his dogs because of all the reading I do. I was like, you don't want to read as much as I read. Fair. But then you got to edit everything and shoot and learn photography, and then those skills become, you can compound them and take them to other businesses. So now we've got other businesses that are reaching out and saying, hey, if I paid you $10,000 to come and promote, a car, could you do it? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it turns into a whole thing because I leaned into the one thing everybody tries to go around because of social media, and that's the work. What is the work? I can't speed up, a bully growing up fast, right? If anything, a dog will slow you down. You want him to be this great, or I want a dog like Ego or
Cujo.
Yeah, one or the other. But you go, how do you get that? Man, it's a lot of work. I mean, even think about, you see how wired he is right now?
I see that, yeah.
So imagine for 8 hours he's walking on my shoulder, and he don't move, he's chill. I'm like, if I put him down, he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
But the minute I get up here, he's like, there we go.
Wow.
He's thinking the whole time he's working.
So is that considered like a safe space, or like something that kind of triggers like, yo, I'm good here. I got my boy. He's right here. He got my back.
I was raised with terriers, so terriers, they're the independent dogs, independent thinkers. Right? Okay. So if you don't give them something to do, they will become terrorists. So in this case, I knew despite, like he wasn't biting on the leash, all the stuff you see him doing right now, he does none of that. The leash can hang right here and he's fine as long as you got to find that sweet spot, whatever terrier you get, and can get him under control quick. Because once they get past a certain stage, they're just, gone through that window if they want to.
That's true. I got a little Boston Terrier at home. So.
See, and that was a good question too. And I do hope people. I'm not masking anything. We post when a dog almost got necrosis. We post when the dogs bit my thumb and I'm bleeding. I went live. I mean, everything that's went wrong and right, I share everything because if you are building a true brand, they want to see your struggles.
Yeah.
And I can't pretend like this is perfect. We pick up crap every day, man. We have to walk and get muddy and get a little filthy. We have to figure it out every day. We haven't even caught up from now being at it for 3.5 weeks. There are more phone calls, more opportunities, so we got to keep leaning that so we can't get tired. Mm-hmm. And you can't be mad that it's working either because this is what you work for.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest challenge, even as we continue to try and grow, is just making sure we have the right people in place.
Yeah.
To get the work done.
Speaking of which, like I know you're giving a lot what I like to call freemium, where people can
free 99.
Yeah, that's right. Are you going to be putting out some like actual education where people can kind of go a little bit more in depth and be able to purchase that training?
Oh yeah. No, we have guides and stuff on mydogtools.com.
Okay.
You can buy a whole guide with percentages, equations, and some people get feeding school. So feeding school, people pay. I do 4 classes a month, and they pay $400 for that. You know, at the last day, I cover protein, fiber, and fat, even some bones for, how much bone, and then joint health, basically. And then I build them a meal plan if they need.
Sick.
Yeah. No, it's not all free. But keep in mind, and this is the beauty about business, if you have a product, how do you get that business into Petco? It's not as easy as some might assume. And the same thing in the liquor business. Total Wine, because you got to call a broker to get it in there, they're going to take 30%. And if you're not selling 100,000 bottles of Jack Daniels, your margin just dropped to 10, 15%.
Yep.
So it's all those little things that people don't pay attention to. Like, that's business.
Yeah. No, we're in Shields.
Yeah.
Our product's in there, and we just got the news back yesterday that the product is selling good but not great, and so they're going to give it another 6 months before they move it into other stores. So we're just in one of their 40.
Yeah.
And we were hoping that we're going to get pushed into more, but they just said, hey, we're not taking you out, but we're not adding you to other stores yet. So we have to work with them because, building a brand out, like nobody knows we're here, right? And so like...
You got to lean into the digital form, the social media side.
I know, right?
We've got almost 80 plus people subscribed to Puppy Blocks, man. And that's just one
nice.
product. So you look up, but it's not because we didn't knock on those doors yet for the purposes. I want 5 to 10 solid products, and even more important, the brand. A brand is leverageable.
Yeah.
That way they know where to go get it. And then it's got to be some special sauce to getting them to walk into those stores. And it's like, hey, what's one thing you get if you're here?
Yeah.
So those are some problems I would
Well, that's the thing is like you can't just create a product and go to a big box store and be like, hey, it's going to sell. Like it doesn't work. It does not work that way. People buy brands and they buy people from companies they trust. And so every now and then you'll get a sale because you're like, oh, that's a cool product. But the majority of people, like when I go to Shields, the last time we were there, like, oh my gosh, there's Sitka. Let's go look at Sitka stuff. Now I didn't buy anything because it's freaking expensive. But like, I trust that brand and I understand like the quality they make of it. And so like, that's why they're in the store. Like there's other products that are just as good actually, but they don't have that name. And so no one was going to buy it. So like
a guy said it best. He said a product without a brand or a product without a story is a commodity.
Yeah.
And commodities you throw in the trash. So it's got to have a story to it because, like Mike, why do you buy Jordan? Because you want to feel like Michael Jordan.
Yep.
And he never told you to do that. He never even sold you the idea that you was going to fly.
No. It's crazy because I talked to, I can't remember who at the moment, but we talked about you can make so much money just having a product without a brand. Mm-hmm. You can make a lot of money, but you cannot make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in profit without a brand. It doesn't work.
Look, people might not like this.
It just doesn't work.
Kim Kardashian's a prime example.
Yeah.
No, let's not go get the Mavs. Let's go and partner with the whole NBA on Skims. You don't do that without a brand or a brand name, repetition, consistency, and potentially a business model. You can't make that phone call.
No.
The commissioner, she's in the photo with the commissioner of the NBA signing the whole deal. And before that, who she put up there? Neymar and the other dude, one of the biggest soccer players in the world, wearing Skims. You go, Y'all not understanding. That's 10 years of work. There's nobody who didn't do less than 10 years of work. Even when Jeff Bezos was given $300,000 from his parents, it was 20 plus years. Apple, 1976, 2007, the iPhone. That's 30 years of work for everyone now to be using iPhone and it being the leading brand. Guys, it's the best of them. It's not happening overnight.
No, what they say, the overnight success takes 10 years, minimum usually.
and so you see why I usually, hey, what's the, I said, bro, we can't rush it. I need the dogs. I need them to grow up.
Yeah.
I've got to work with them. I'm going, and then people like, man, you did say a dog was going to walk on your shoulder. That's crazy. It worked. I told you. I literally told you it was going to happen before he got here.
Yeah. But like you said, though, but you put the work in.
I know dogs, man. That's my thing. I was like, if all I have to do is take care of a dog, it's not happening. You're not outdoing me in that.
I think that's the biggest thing too in entrepreneurship is people will start a business or they'll get this idea, they give it 6 to 8 months, and then what happens? Oh my gosh, it's just not working. And it's like, no, you just haven't put the time in. Yeah. You don't even know if it's going to work or not yet. You quit too early.
They need mentors. So people get a mentor, man. And even being in this room, I was there when you were talking about All-American K9. It's good that it's working and definitely a work in progress. It's good to see the progress. I mean, I'm sitting in progress right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different than that dungeon we were in.
Hey, this is progress right now. And I've been there, man. I've been there for a long time. But even having one person who can see your vision is going to change where you land as well. And sometimes that's all it takes. Steve Jobs said it, I'm a big Jobs fan. It's easy to walk 1,000 miles when you got somebody with you. So I've never tell anybody is raised in solidarity. I'm not foolish. I need people to help because there's a lot of work that goes into this every day, man.
Yeah, that's really good, dude, because I think so many people want to go solo because of ego and pride, and they just want to do it on their own. And what you said, like, you wouldn't be where you're at if you didn't have a team.
No. Without the help of Jamarcus and others that I think are going to be very valuable. But then, mind you, it takes a lot of work to get them to see too. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have business acumen or a business background or any of the stuff that you guys kind of have, you've been in business for a while, they're like, well, what's even happening? You go, oh man, he was on the phone call today with Lou's like, okay, I'll help you build this, but we'll just do 50% a piece. Like basically 50-50 business. Because I said, hey, do you ever venture out? And if you've got all the molding and you cut my costs in half, how do I build an iteration of your business brought to you by, but I'll 50-50. And she was straightforward with it, and I love it because good, I don't have to go do that now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have to go do that now. So he's seen how it functions versus just being a consumer.
Yeah.
You want to create your own way.
I think on that point too is there's a difference between being a small business owner and an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. A small business owner just wants to control and do everything and run everything through them, but an entrepreneur sees the bigger vision and builds the team so that they don't have to actually do the day-to-day work because they're getting the team to believe, they're seeing what needs to happen, they're staying out of the weeds, and so they can go, hey, I don't want to build $1 million company. I want to go build an empire. Absolutely. And a lot of people are their own worst enemies because they're so talented, they can do all the technical stuff, but they can't cast the vision and they can't sell the dream. And then there's vice versa. You get the people that are the technicians that are that like they don't want to sell the dream, but if they could, oh my gosh, they would kill it.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that I've ran into this quite often where someone's really good at what they do, but they're really horrible at business. And so it's like an artist. You're good at your art. That's what you're there to do.
What's it called when they do the showing thing?
The showing thing.
Like the art show. They can't.
Yeah.
The art show. Yeah.
No way to present it, but I was like, who did this? Oh, I painted you. What?
Yeah.
Could you do that again? That's the businessman. Like, I'll leverage that. You can make digital prints. They download for $80 and ship it. I know exactly how to do that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One of the first entrepreneur books I read was called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber, and it breaks this down, and the light bulb went off for me. There's 3 types of people in business. There's technicians, managers, and entrepreneurs. Most people that start a business are actually the technicians. Mm-hmm. But they don't know how to scale a business. And they don't know how to manage people because they're so good at what they do. They can't handle someone else telling them how to do it. And so they're like, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to just do it myself. But then they they don't know how to run a business.
And they just burn it down just because something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. They forget that things have to go wrong in order for you to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way you do grow. Experiences shape us, and I assure you, it's not all good ones.
Yeah.
It's not all great
That's life,
experiences,
man.
Exactly. And again, I think the technical side is where he thrives and others will. I'm like Cupid and the guys that see, like Steve Jobs tells guys at Kawasaki, build me the iPod. See, this gonna cost $10 million. Okay, go get it. Here's the check. Oh, it cleared.
Cleared.
Oh, we got to build this iPod now, man. But it was already MP3 players. That was the other thing, but it didn't have no brand. So in this case, I stay out the way, man. I tell people, you don't even need to be talking to me about nothing. It's about, eventually it'll be 5 people that get to have conversation with me. Past that, there's nothing for me to talk about because they should be in a position of power to make good choices. At least 3 to 5 good a day. And I'll go and find this stuff. Hell, I'll fund it. But I'm not going to get no. Those days are over. Those days are over. If we want to grow and get to those hundreds of millions of dollars in change, I mean, when I say the 100 million in change.
Yeah, the change are good then.
The good change.
The good change.
That everybody has to accept their role as well. And that's the thing that I think the guys around me are doing very well. They know, like, let him talk. Like, we might not ever be that good at communicating. He makes it make sense and our lives easier. And that's what I told him. I said, guys, I'm going to speed up y'all's whole life. If you just do these couple things, and I promise you to get better. And it slowly but surely is.
It's good, man.
Love it.
Well, good. Well, where can you tell everybody to come find you if they need any of your services?
Well, hopefully don't contact me. But
I was waiting to say that, actually.
If that one of the people you can just pick up the phone and call. My phone's ringing. I'm like, who is this calling me? Nobody should be calling me.
You said that earlier.
We're rebranding Instagram, but foundationally it's Fit Bully Kennels on all platforms. It'll be My Dog Tools, even on our YouTube. I'll modify that one as well, because we are an educational company rooted in solving problems and just having fun. So part of that brand, as we keep finding it out, right? It's like taking the off Facebook, call it Facebook. We're still fine tuning where we want to land, but then we've got the big idea, which we talked about, and that's going to eventually control the whole healthcare market in terms of pets. And I've got a good vision for that as well. But that's a journey.
Yeah.
So,
man, I really enjoyed this conversation. We got to bring it back on again.
Yeah. You guys, look, we'll have you guys on ours too.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Let's go out there.
It'll be huge, man. Especially, seeing this setup. I go, wow, this is good. They got the 3-piece special, cameras hooked up. Guys, I'm big in videography, so I do love movies and shooting stuff. So when I'm seeing this, I'm going, damn. And I got the A1. We just shot with the A1. You got 2 of them.
Nice,
and I see, I asked him, so is that an FX?
I don't know, dude. This is my buddy's studio.
Well, that's the point. I love the setup. I love you've got your son involved. He's going to see these things and appreciate it one day. I don't think people understand how important it is for kids to be in the room and seeing success. I didn't get to see it when I was a kid. My dad did 7 years in a level 5 prison, so every other weekend I was visiting Cameron, Missouri's prison, which could have been my destiny. So you turn around just because the programming, right?
Yeah.
You don't see success, then how do you become successful? So part of that not having a phone call is you wake up every day to be something you've never seen. You know how hard that is? But you got to figure it out, and that's why we're here today. It's because I figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured out how not to get in trouble.
well, respect to your mother and to your father, and the things that they instill in you. That respect to that, 100%.
There you go, people. Do you have a closer? How
do I close out? I just say thanks for coming on, man, and
we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
Boom, man.
All right.